What can I do? What can I do when I'm stuck inside you? This cell of ice and fire, what blood red death, lust and desire, smell of life.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Live and direct. Whole Damn Enchilada Podcast. Rick Paulton. And I'm frozen. Oh, there it goes. I was frozen. Ryan Inman.
This is frozen.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. So, as we played the video, our guest texted us. It says, same thing's copy link open in Safari. He's having problems getting in. And he says his laptop is dead. He's having this iPad, and he has no idea how to use. Wow.
Yay for technology. So, talk amongst yourselves. Give me like 2 minutes. Chrome works best, Zig says. He's on his iPad, though. I don't know if... it makes a difference. I don't know. Yeah, that's like... Yeah,
can you do Chrome on an iPad?
I don't know, because Safari's the default on an iPad, because it's, Apple. As I eat a strawberry popsicle. So, that's the big reason everyone tuned in. See me eat my dessert.
Absolutely, absolutely.
It's good. It's one of those outshine deals without the added sugar and shit.
Like the fruit juicy ones. Yeah, those are my jam. Somebody used to make those back in the day, and they were really good. Sometimes they had pieces of fruit in them. Remember
this
those?
Does, and you can. Yeah, it actually has the strawberry seeds in them.
Yeah. I remember those back in the day. They were awesome. I don't remember who made them.
These are Outshine is the brand on these.
Right on.
Fruit bars. That's what it says on the thing. Doesn't even say popsicle.
And he figured it out. I see him in the bottom here.
All right.
All right. So tonight we have our guest, William R.Instone, writer, director, actor, all kinds of fun stuff. We're going to bring him on now.
All right. What's up?
Hey, you figured it out.
Yeah. I ended up having to use my phone. Technology is a motherfucker. I'm not the most bright person when it comes to that shit.
we were going to give you shit because we always tell people. I had John from Texas Chainsaw 1. I had those guys on, and those guys are in their 80s. So if they can do it.
Yeah.
Well, John Dugan was pretty good. It was Alan Danziger that was having trouble.
Yeah, Alan Danziger had a little bit of problems, but John Dugan got right in. He was cool. So how you doing tonight, brother?
Oh, I'm all right, man. I'm still kicking.
Right on. So let's see. What do we got here? So got a list of questions here. We just kind of just go with this, and usually we go about an hour. If you have to cut out early, you just let me know.
I've got nothing going on. I'm a full-time artist now, so this is all I do. I luckily this last week I was able to leave my job of 22 years to just take this on full-time. So
wow. Yeah,
the hell of a leap.
It was a scary decision, but it was the right one to make for me at the time. So I went ahead and made that decision to do it. So it's very liberating, but also at the same time, shit, I got to pay bills.
And that's what I was going to mention.
Get this movie out and get people to see it. That's for sure. What's that, Ryan?
Right.
What I was going to mention is I was a full-time artist for a while when I was younger myself, but I was much skinnier then because I had a lot less money.
Yeah. That's good diet, right?
Mm-hmm. The starving artist thing. That's a thing.
Well, I can live off fat for a while, so it's okay.
I could now. Not then.
Yeah, Ryan was in in a death metal band called Dislim. I don't know if you've heard of it, but
No.
What's up, Rosa?
You and nobody else either, so don't feel bad.
Hey, he's being modest. They got a little bit of following. They were pretty decent for a while.
Oh yeah.
Texas?
Huh?
No, I was asking Ryan if you ever played Texas because you're from Texas.
No,
never played Texas.
we had a following there though for sure.
Yeah. I'm right outside of Austin area.
Okay.
So
So
the
what
home
was
of the chainsaw.
Absolutely, and that's how
Yep.
I got familiar with you. Was we watched Sawyer Massacre, and we had the director for that, Steve Merlo, on. And
Yeah.
I'm a giant Texas Chainsaw fan. It's my second favorite franchise. Friday the 13th is my favorite.
Me too. I'm team Jason as well.
Awesome, yeah. So what was your introduction into horror?
Well, I mean, I would say probably, I mean, I got into it at a young age. I'm a child of the 80s. So, the first movie I can really remember seeing was probably the original Nightmare on Elm Street at the movie theater where the babysitter took me there. So that's how fucked up the 80s were.
Oh, yeah.
And so she took me there and it really pretty much traumatized me. And
That's
I have
great.
memories of The Exorcist, Yeah, The Exorcist, the Dawn of the Dead when the helicopter chopped off the zombie's head. I remember that. Those are like my earliest memories of horror. And the Michael Jackson Thriller video, believe it or not.
Same. But the Michael Jackson Thriller video was a big deal. I did a post on it on my page about it. Like that was one of the earliest memories I have of horror was seeing it because Michael would have his videos would debut in prime time in front of 20 million people on local and network TV. So everybody's seen it. I was actually in a children's home when that came out, and they let us stay up to watch it. It was like just a crazy thing. So that video has a real big deal in my life for sure.
Absolutely.
Right on. So yeah,
So
Nightmare is one of the scariest movies ever.
Oh God, it traumatized me badly, man. I was scared to sleep, and I mean, that original Nightmare was so scary, dude. When you're like, I was probably 6 or 7 when it came out, if even that.
5.
And so it was terrifying. I mean, I didn't understand it quite completely. Like, when the girl in the hallway, there's no running in the hallway, and it's got Freddy's voice coming up. Like, why does she sound like Freddy? There was things I didn't understand when I was a kid. But oh, she's in a dream. They're killing her in a dream. So, but anyway, it still did enough to mess me up. I love
Nightmare. I love Freddy, but that movie. I still have nightmares today about it. Like, I swear to God, not even kidding. Like, I love them. I still watch them, but once in a while I'll dream about it, man. That shit was scary as hell, man. We had a little mom and pop video store where we would go to get videos, and they had a standee of Freddy Krueger by the horror section.
Right.
I couldn't even look at it.
It's funny you bring that up, Rick, because I was going to ask him the same thing, since we all kind of grew up in the same time period. Some of our other previous guests have too. In the 80s, were you also a video store kid like us?
Oh, absolutely. I worked in video stores.
Oh, awesome.
But
and, yeah,
I got my job because the mom and pop stores, the lady who owned it didn't want to go into the adult section. I mean, for the younger viewers out there, before the internet, there was this place called a mom and pop video store. You would go in it, and the perverts would like to go into the back room, which is where they had the porno. And that's where you would get your porn. So when I was 18 and I was able to go back into the room, she's like, "Okay, you're in charge of that room, so I'm not going back there ever again." And so but it was awesome. I ordered them. I did. And actually, it was really funny when I saw Clerks for the first time. And he's ordering all the porno stuff on the phone. I've done that before, and I was just like, oh my God, these guys actually worked in video stores because they know we would do that to mess with people,
I was just about to ask, did you do the Clerks deal?
Yeah, I did, and that was. I mean, I think anybody who worked in the video store in that time period did that because that was just something you did to mess with people. And then Be Kind and Rewind. There was this thing called a videotape, kids, and you couldn't just skip. You had to rewind things. And so in the video stores, you had to rewind your VHS.
We had one of those deals that was shaped like a 57 Chevy, and you put the tape in, and it rewound
Yeah.
it quicker than your VCR for some reason.
Yep. We had that in the stores. We had that in the
one of
store.
those. I had one of those too. It wasn't shaped like a '57 Chevy. It was just a standard one.
Mhm.
But they sold me on it because it cut down on wear and tear on your VCR or whatever. So I bought one because I used to rent so many movies.
Oh yeah, we do
I
5,
was
6, 7 a week.
VCR to VCR. You would get the Scotch tape and you put it at the bottom of the cassette tape,
Yep.
and then you put it in. You could record. So now, when I worked at, I ended up working at Blockbuster after the mom and pop place shut down, and I'd get 5 movies a night for free, like before, and then I'd get the movies like a week before they came out. I'd already have bootlegs. I don't care. Yeah. I was a rebel. I wouldn't wear the khakis at Blockbuster. That's why I didn't last very long. But I knew more about movies than everybody who worked there, including the managers. So they kind of kept me around. But I refused to wear the khaki pants. I was, I'll wear the stupid blue shirt, but I'm not wearing the khaki pants. I'm wearing my black jeans. So,
Yeah.
and I wouldn't do it. And then, but corporate never came in, and so I stayed there for about probably 4 or 5 months before I finally Blockbuster. This is not like the mom and pop shops. The mom and pop shops, I was there for a while. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, they were the best. They always had stuff that Blockbuster would never even think about ordering.
Yep.
Especially with the horror, you get the B and C movies and
and the action films in the 90s, they were awesome. They were so low budget and terrible.
Oh yeah.
I had fond memories of them. Yeah, I had fond memories of them, and then recently I found them on Tubi and watched them. Like, oh my God, these are absolutely horrible, but I loved them. They were great. The acting was horrific. That's a horror movie. Watching them try to act.
Oh yeah. So, how did you get into movies, into the movie business?
I'm a failed musician.
There you go. Right on. What did you play?
Yeah, I mean, I've always kind of told stories, and I've always written stories, and I would, when I was a little kid, would act out scenes that I just would come up with my G.I. Joes and stuff like that, and so I was always into that. And, for a while when I was a kid, I was like, okay, I'm going to be a wrestler. So I wanted to be a professional wrestler. So that was my whole thing.
I told you, we got a ton in common with this guy.
Okay, so yeah, I wanted to be a pro wrestler. I wanted to be, the Undertaker. And, so I was under that, and I, started playing guitar, and I'm like, okay, I don't know what I want to do, but I still always had that I could be a wrestler that plays guitar, heavy metal. So that was kind of my thing. And but yeah, long story short, I guess I can't. I ended up working with a wrestling group of local Texas guys, and just the stories they were telling me about being broke and being injured and being addicted to pills. And I'm just like, I don't think I want to go down that route. Never being home, always being on the road, living in hotels and starving half the time. And so I'm like, okay. So I went and put music full time. And then, that whole 90s alternative thing came around. And so music kind of changed. I wasn't really a huge fan of it, but came to Austin, tried to be in a band, gotten a few of them, but it's like a marriage. They don't really last, and you can't have a lot of alphas in the same tribe. So, you know what it is when you and I'm a singer and a guitar player, and mostly wanted to be a front man. I have a very distinct vision of what I want, the music I want to do, and I still write. I mean, I'm writing to this day, working on an album right now, but I'm just doing everything myself. But yeah, that didn't work out, and I saw an ad for background extras for a concert scene for a movie called Band Slam, and I think it's a Disney movie or something like that. And I ended up, I showed up for that movie. It was shot downtown in Austin, and they bumped me up to a featured extra role to be a door guy because I was the biggest dude there. And so I'm like, this is fun. So then the next thing I know, I'm in Machete, and then the next thing I know, I'm in a movie called The Two Bobs, and then The Exterminators with Heather Graham and Jennifer Coolidge. And I mean, I started meeting all these people just being background extras, and so I think I can do this. I went to an audition. I got a talking role in a movie called Between Kings and Queens, which is pretty much a serious version of low budget version of Coming to America. So it's not the greatest movie in the world, but it's my first speaking role. And I stole that from a kid. It was written for like a young 16, 17-year-old thug type of minority kid. And I showed up and I came and changed all the dialogue and basically told them I was scarier than any kid you have out there in the audience, in the audition room. And I just sold myself and they bought it. And I got that role and I got hooked on acting, you know? And I basically couldn't get any roles after that. It was kind of like, well, okay, I'm only getting these background roles. I'm going to speak, so I guess I'm going to write my own movie. So I got Lloyd Kaufman's book, Direct Your Own Damn Movie, or Make Your Own Damn Movies was the first one. And I read that book, and I read Robert Rodriguez's book. And then I made my first movie in 2009. I just wrote it and directed it, and Lloyd Kaufman was actually in that movie. And I'm in a segment of his DVDs called "Produce Your Own Damn Movie." So I'm interviewed on there, and I'm telling him how I produced the movie and put the movie together and stuff. Unfortunately, that film was my first. It was called John, and it was my first dive into filmmaking, and made a shitload of mistakes. I shot at Gorilla. I didn't have any release forms, you know. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I can never release it, you know. And I really don't want to now, because even though it was a good movie for what it was, it doesn't showcase where I am now. So if obviously from 2009 to 2022 or 2024, oh shit, see, I'm a brand starting to get old. This 2024, I can't believe it's that year already. I've come a long way, so I'd prefer no one to see that movie anyway. So that's kind of the long stretched out version of how I got into here. It was just, I've always liked to write. I've always wanted to create, and I like acting, and I needed a role for myself. So I write parts for myself in my movies. And then over the years, I've been auditioning. I hardly audition anymore. Most of the time, other filmmakers around here just contact me. They say, "Hey, you want to be in this movie?" And I just do it. You know.
Right. So is that how you got into the Sawyer Massacre? Steve just called you, or did you audition for that?
I mean, he wanted to see me do it, so I actually did audition for that. But it was pretty much a shoe-in that I was going to get it. I was helping him find locations, and I really didn't help him much. I tried. He was contacting me from Canada, and I was here, and I was looking for the house for him and stuff. And I mean, he's made it very clear I'm not. In many interviews, I'm definitely not what he wanted for that part. If you watch any of his videos.
You were my favorite part of the movie.
Thank you. I mean,
because you're here. You can go back and watch the interview with Steve, and I said it on there too.
Yeah. Many people have, and many people have said that about the film, that I stood out. And he wanted the character to be older and a skinnier version. And spoiler alert. You should see it. It's free, so I'm not. It's been out long enough. You should have seen it already. My character was supposed to die, and so I kind of like insisted that he not kill me to do the part. And so he agreed to that, you know. And I had a lot of fun doing it. It was a fun movie. I felt bad for the dude, because I mean, he had like half his crew backed out like the day we were shooting, and it's like. I stepped up and was ADing for him for like half the shoot. So every time I was there, I was also ADing and acting, you know, helping him try to with crew stuff. Because I mean, they were on a tight schedule. But yeah, I actually auditioned for that, and I changed a lot of the dialogue. And there's been reviews where he said he'd actually wished I didn't do that in some parts, but that's just how I am. And And I mean, for me, I feel like it's for the better, and obviously fans feel it's for the better. But I can see as a director, some directors, especially writers, want their script to be said the way they want to say they wrote it. I'm not that director myself.
I was about to ask. I was going to follow up. Do you do that?
No, I write my scripts, and sometimes I have a co-writer. Butchers Bluff, I had a co-writer, and we worked on it together. But I mean. I was really heavy in the dialogue, but I also let my actors improv. So 50% of the script was probably said as written. The rest of it's kind of like they're saying what we had written, but their own way of saying it. And they would add things to it or take things out.
Better, I would think.
Feels more natural to me.
Yeah. So me coming from an acting background first, it helped me with that. I know that I'm more comfortable doing that. In every movie I've ever done, always improv, but I have enough respect for the director to talk to him and tell him I'm going to do that first. And I also have enough respect to learn their script. I know their script. And if they tell me do it as written, I could do it as written. Mm-hmm. But to this day, I've never had one director ever tell me do it as written. I like it better as written. Every time I throw something else, like, okay, I like that, So that's how I am as well. I mean, sometimes if a scene's if what they're throwing out's not working, I just say go as written. I've only had to do that, I think, once.
This guy who's never been here before, so I imagine he came here with you. I cannot pronounce his name. But he says,
don't know who that is.
In their comfort zone, as long as they've actually embraced the reality of their character.
Yeah, I like to. I mean, I think they can bring. I like to have. I cast the people that I feel are that character. So I trust that they're going to be able to pull that character out. And I talk to them before we film, and I basically I give them kind of a backstory, but I want them to create their own backstory. What do you think this guy would think? This is you. You're being portrayed on screen. So I like to give them that freedom. That's just something that I like to do.
Right on. So going through your credits on IMDb, there's one that really stood out to me because I am like a giant Pantera fan, as you can see by the side of my head there.
Yeah.
We've seen them, 7, 8, 9 times. I've seen them twice in the last year.
Yeah.
Without the Abbott brothers, unfortunately, but I've seen them with them too. And so
me too.
I noticed Bloody and Bruised, The Untold Story, The Back Room was a documentary, but you're credited as Vinnie Paul. What was up with that?
That's right. Well, have y'all seen Dark Side of the Ring?
Yeah.
That's kind of what I figured it was going to be.
We're in the reenactment. Yeah, I'm in the reenactments, and we basically modeled it after it. So it's a lot like Dark Side of the Ring. We're silhouetted mostly. You can see features, and I mean, honestly, when I saw it on screen, I just saw a screening of it recently. Like, holy shit, I look like Vinny. And they shaved my beard, and I had the headband on, and I don't play drums. I'm a guitar singer, but so I'm faking it like a motherfucker. But it was fun. The drummer that was there taught me how to play walk. And by the time we were done playing it, I was able to play the basic parts of walk on drums. So that was pretty fun.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, I think the dude they got to play Dimebag was amazing. He looked so much like him. It was insane. So the two of us together, we sold the brothers, I think. I got to say, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, you're in the trailer as yourself.
Yeah. I was also interviewed. Yeah, the back room was one of my hangouts here in Austin, and so I went to a lot of shows there, met a lot of really cool musicians there, played there a few times. So yeah, I was myself in the interviews, and then in the reenactions, I was Vinny. So.
I would imagine growing up in Texas, you must have been a giant Pantera fan as well.
Oh, of course. Yeah, I saw him a bunch of times. I got one of Dime's picks, so.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were supposed to be in how they had the Pantera videos, the vulgar videos. Yeah. They were shooting one that was it was after Reinventing the Steel came out, but then the band broke up. It never got released, but we're on it. My son, as a 1 or 2 year old, I got to pick Phil's holding him in it, because most of the time, like you're talking about wrestling, we take them to beat wrestlers, and wrestlers won't hold the kid in the picture because they're worried about lawsuits and shit.
Yeah.
But Phil was like, I was like, Phil, can you take a picture of my kid? He goes, throw that little bastard up here. It's the coolest shit. You still got it, and
that sounds like something he would say.
So we got to meet the whole band, and Rex Brown, my buddy was wearing a Charles Manson shirt, and Rex really liked the shirt, and he goes, "I'll give you backstage passes for that shirt," and he did, and Rex wore it on stage that night, and Dime was freaking awesome. It was just amazing. Like I said, I've seen him tons of times, and it's one of my favorite band of all time.
Oh yeah, I played craps with Vinny in Vegas at the Mandalay Bay.
You go.
I drank Black Tooth with him at the clubhouse in Dallas. He owned the strip club, the clubhouse in Dallas.
Bar. Yeah.
I used to go in there and and we go up to the back table where he would hang out and he'd drink Black Tooth with people, and he'll just sit down and he'd bullshit with you for a few minutes, and then, you know, he was just a cool fucking guy, man.
Yeah, they definitely seem really, really awesome.
So I was honored to play him. I was very honored to play him. So
right on. Yeah, we live in Ohio, so we pretty close to Columbus, and I almost went to the show where, you know, where they got killed.
Yeah.
I didn't drive until, like, I'm 45 now, 45 next week, as a matter of fact, and I didn't drive until I was in my 30s. So back
Jesus.
then, back then I had tickets to the show, but I couldn't get a ride, and that's why I didn't go. But I guess for the best. But yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Would not have wanted to be at that show.
No,
that would have been traumatizing, man.
Yes.
Yeah. I went there. One of my friends played there years later, and there's still bullet holes in the stage. I mean, I think they tore the club down actually now since then. But yeah, it was just like crazy. It was just a real surreal experience to even be in that building. I did not like it.
I wouldn't either.
So, Butchers Bluff. That's your movie that coming out soon.
My baby, man. I started working on that thing back in 2017, and yeah, I mean, I wrote the actual beta script for it even like 2014, 13 or 14, and then we revisited it in 17, and when I got a co-writer, and we just kind of revamped and rewrote the whole thing. Like the Hogman didn't exist in our original script. The Hogman being our main killer.
Before I got the trailer queued up down here, so let me play that real quick for the guys watching.
Yeah, cool.
See if I can figure this out. I'm not good with the technology either, so let's see if we can get this to work.
There we go.
There's that, and then I gotta switch this other screen to hit play, and voila.
I don't like the woods. Scare me.
Really? You want me scared?
That's Jeremy London from Mallrats.
Dumbass urban legend.
28 people have gone missing up there in the past 20 years.
Yeah, when me and Ryan watched this before we started,
found.
and I was like, "That's one of the Londons. I don't know if it's the Dazed and Confused one or the Mallrats one."
If there's a madman out there, then that sounds scary as hell.
We're film students from Austin, and we're shooting a documentary.
Documentary in Emerald Hills, huh? What's that going to be about?
Butchers Bluff.
There ain't nothing out in them woods except death.
What are you waiting for?
The boy don't want you in his woods.
All right, here we go.
Yeah. There was an after line about that, but that's okay.
I know. I heard it in my headphones. I'm like, ah, damn it.
It's all right. It's okay. You get the gist. It's a lot of carnage.
We shared it on the page too. So
check it out, man. It's got all practical effects. We have 32 kills. I have 16 kills in the opening credits. Like while the credits are rolling, I'm killing motherfuckers. That's my thing, man. I was like, all right, I'm getting this body count up.
Well, definitely has 80s slasher vibes all over it, man. And
absolutely,
the design of the killer is freaking amazing. Like the mask, I really dig the mask. And you play the Hogman. Is that right?
That's me. Yeah, I could do all the stunts. And I could kill people without hurting them. So, that's the whole thing. Is from the experience of, just doing martial arts for my whole life and wrestling and taking falls and So that's I know how to do it without hurting people. So I'm cheaper than hiring a stuntman. So
anything to help the budget, right?
Exactly. I mean, part of the reasons I have 16 kills in the opening credits is that we crowdfunded this thing, man. This is how I got the budget for it, and so part of the perks were to get killed in the movie.
Oh wow!
And so
that's
people
awesome.
were like, "Okay, I'm gonna get killed in the movie." I didn't tell you what part you were gonna get killed in. It's called quick kill.
Yeah.
That wouldn't matter, right? I mean,
So I did it in the opening credits. Yeah, and so nobody cared because they had a lot of fun, and there was some pretty badass kills in the opening credits. So, well, we did some pretty cool stuff in there, and then that's with the 16 in the opening credits, and I think there's like 13 or 14 actually within the 2-hour movie. So it's brutal.
A whole body count for sure.
Yeah, but it's not just. I was just going to say it's not just gore porn or anything like that. There's an actual story behind it. I mean, we really wanted story first because first and foremost, I like to write and tell stories. But having that the gory stuff and the kills and stuff, it's just.
Right on.
Yeah, I need story in my horror. I need it.
William froze.
Uh-oh.
Hey, William, if you can still hear me and you don't come back in a second, maybe sign back out and just sign in with that same link. And there you go.
There he is. Yeah, it's like, okay, well, I don't know what happened there. Just bad internet, probably. I live in the country, by the way, for the people to know. That's kind of why I'm writing stuff up in the woods and stuff is easy for me because I'm like, it's scary as hell out here, man. So I'll tell you this. If you see, this will kind of ruin some things for horror people movies. You can't see shit in the woods at night. Ain't nobody running through the woods at night because it's pitch black out there.
Run into a tree.
You're more likely gonna impale yourself on a tree like in Tucker and Dale.
That's a great movie. I really like that movie.
Yeah, today. But yeah, I was just heavily inspired by Friday the 13th. The mask design, you mentioned the design. It's based off of Leatherface and Sackhead Jason.
Nice.
So it's made out of burlap and leather, and it's made like the hog. And the hog is actually it plays into the story because the killer was a fat kid that was picked on as a young kid. So I mean, I unapologetically, I can say that word right, but y'all know what I'm saying. I'm not apologizing for what I've done. I make no attempt to try to hide it. I basically nod to all the tropes in slasher films. I have ties to, basically direct scenes almost from Halloween, Texas Chainsaw. You can see in the trailer, I grab the girl at the door and I pull her in from behind. I mean, that's kind of nod to Chainsaw, slam the door behind me.
Nice.
We had the kid with the Halloween mask on in the beginning, and the cop shows up and takes the mask off his face, and it's basically just like Halloween. I mean, there's stuff from the Blair Witch Project in there. There's all kinds of stuff. I mean,
so we got another comment here about this. Do you do your own effects? I was going to get to that too. Or who does your effects for you?
Right, because you mentioned they were all practical.
And he's frozen again. We'll give him a second. I'm sure he'll catch up.
That Texas internet.
Yeah, the damn Texas internet. So let's see. Maybe we got some other comments we can see. That I'm William Grossman. Go online as my name backwards. Oh, okay, brother.
I don't know if this is going to start happening a whole lot to me now. I don't know what's going on with the internet out here.
It's all good.
Anyway, I'm trying to get my pitches in. Yeah.
Do you do your own effects? William Grossman. That's the guy with the funny name I couldn't pronounce. His real name is William Grossman.
Grossman.
So he wants to know if that name I put up there. I was like, I can't pronounce this name, but he just commented his real name's William Grossman. But he wants to know if you do your own effects.
I did some of them in the quick kills, but most of them were done by Jenna Green from the Face Off season 2.
Oh,
and
nice.
then we had a few effects, a severed head made by Joe Castro from Face Off as well. Don't remember what season Joe was on.
Shouldn't.
But yeah,
Zigzag from Death Crew Society. He says practical is great. Just got to keep it meaty and wet, and it looks like you guys did that.
Yes, absolutely. Plus, it's better when you're shooting it at night. You know, you can camouflage a lot of things with night. It looks gory.
You probably shouldn't have mentioned that severed head though, because that's the big thing Rick wants for his.
I definitely want one. Yeah, that's my dream
is
to own a head that was used in a movie.
Yeah.
Well, I've got 3 of them. Let's talk. When you see the movie, contact me. Hogman collects severed heads, so we had quite a few decapitations in there.
Well, if you want to sell one of those, you let me know.
I knew that was going to happen.
I can make that happen if you want one. I've got 3 of them. So, so yeah, it's I felt like, I mean, I've said this before in other interviews, but I felt like at the time when we were writing it, horror was doing well, but there wasn't a really good slasher film. I mean, people were like, what about Terrifier? I was like, yeah, I don't really consider Terrifier a slasher film. You know,
neither do I.
I like Terrifier. He does not.
I do not like.
Yeah, but I don't think it's a slasher either.
No, I don't really consider him a slasher. I don't really know what that is. It's clown horror. You know, I mean, it's gory. It's cool and everything.
It's not like, you know, Jason, Freddy, Michael.
It's not. Yeah. Like some people have said it has the retro 80s vibe. I don't think so. It didn't feel that way to me. It felt modern. It felt like a modern slasher, like not really a slasher, but modern horror killer clown type of thing. I wanted the 80s vibe. Closest thing I've seen to it was Hatchet.
Right, exactly. We love Hatchet.
And Hatchet was a huge influence on me doing this. I'm just like, especially I watched a documentary on how Green got his funding with his fake trailer teaser that he made out in the swamp. I don't know if I've ever saw that. It's a really cool documentary. Like the swamp was made in a studio. I mean, when he finally got the budget, it's wild when you see how they made Hatchet. But that was a big influence on me to go ahead and fund this thing myself. I mean, I tried to get investors. I mean, again, we started writing the script in 2017, and I couldn't get anybody to back us. You know, it's hard to find backers. And I did an Indiegogo, and we failed miserably. We raised like $300, so I refunded it. I was like, this is insulting. No one, how these people raising like, you know, $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 I see on there. I can't get $300, and I got this cool idea. And I was basically going the route of me talking to the camera, begging for money, and not really showing anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided, okay, I'm going back to the drawing board, and I made a fake trailer. And we shot the fake trailer. I financed it all myself. I spent about $500 or $600 on it. And I took little scenes from the script and actually even added in scenes that aren't even in the script and merged characters to make it simple. And I made a like 3-minute, maybe 4-minute, I don't remember how long it is, but it's a fake trailer. And people thought it was real. They thought it was a real movie and people wanted to see it. And that's when I started going to horror conventions, handing out flyers. I started a group on Facebook page and people started following it. Like, where can I see this movie? And I started to tell them this movie doesn't exist. It's like Machete on Planet Terror, you know.
Right. My buddy JP just commented that Thanksgiving is more of an old school slasher, but that's how that movie came to be, was a fake trailer.
Yes, that came out. Thanksgiving came out recently, and so yeah, they're doing it now. At the time, again, if we look back in 2017 when I started writing it, it's down that time period. I hadn't seen many 80s style slasher films at that time period.
Right.
It's starting to make that comeback now. And so you are seeing more of them now. So, but that was just when I was saying my motivation to write it is because I hadn't seen it. I loved Thanksgiving. I thought it was fun. It was so much fun. That opening scene at the Walmart or whatever whatever the market was called in there. Yeah. I'd been to one of those Black Friday events with my mother before, and I could have totally seen something like that happening. Exactly. So, no, that was fantastic, and I thought the killer looked awesome. So, and the name Carver, that's a great name. So, I mean, that was, again, I got nothing bad to say about Thanksgiving.
Right. No, I was just bringing up, you were talking about the fake trailers, and that's how they got it too.
Yeah, Thanksgiving, and then Machete. That was I was in Machete, the first one. I mean, I got cut out. I did 3 days on set,
mm-hmm.
and they ended up cutting my damn scenes out. If you blink, you miss me now. I'm in the background. I was like, oh, shit. So, but yeah, I just felt like that 80s emergence thing was coming, and as while we were making it, Stranger Things came out, so that kind of rejuvenated that whole nostalgia thing.
Definitely.
And right about the time when I was launching the Indiegogo, American Horror Story did that 80s series one. I don't remember what it was called.
And that's the best
84.
season
And it had Richard Ramirez and stuff in it, and I was like, okay, this is cool. But again, it didn't have the look. It still had that sharp, clean look.
It was polished. It was like
yeah, fair. And I wanted it to be gritty. And so I deliberately got my footage and shot it in 4K and made it look ugly. So I wanted to make it look like old film, like those Friday the 13th movies, that I like so much. Part 6 is my favorite. Jason Lives is just so much fun. So
my favorite.
6 and 4, and I'm a big fan of 5.
5, obviously the podcast name, the whole damn enchilada. That's what that's from. And then of course we got behind us, we got Roy right there.
Yeah.
And William's frozen again, but he will unfreeze in a second, I'm sure. And
So
JP
basic.
says his favorite as well. We're gonna hit some of these comments while we're waiting on Bill to unfreeze. There we go. William. He's back. But yeah, like I said, we got Roy behind us, but big part 5 guy.
Well, yeah, the Voorhees chick's boobs in there were just like that was one of those things of legend.
Oh yeah.
When you're a
We've
child,
talked about that several times on this.
you're
podcast.
becoming a man.
And now she's making movies.
You paused that. Yeah, she did 13 Fanboy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I met her at a convention about 2 years ago in San Antonio. We talked about that. So
We were supposed to meet her at a convention 2 years ago, and she canceled.
She had to cancel.
But the replacement was awesome.
Yeah, Harry Manfredini replaced her.
Yeah, I got Harry's info. I talked to him 2 years ago about scoring my next film, but I don't know if that's going to happen or not. But
it'd be really cool if
it did. Yeah.
So he's so good.
Yeah.
That music is such it's its own character in the Friday the 13th
Exactly.
movie.
Exactly. So that's kind of what I did with the score in Butchers Bluff. Is I got a composer that he had a thing called a nightmare box. So the sounds he's making, you don't just make up from an instrument. There's sounds that he runs through delays and crazy shit you can't really reproduce. So the score is so original, and it's like not something that is easy to just do. I mean, somebody now can sample those sounds and put them through a synthesizer and do it. But he created them with this nightmare box using just weird, like cello bows and stuff on steel, running through this box with an echo microphone with echoes and stuff in it. And the Hogman has his own little motif sound. So when he shows up on screen, you hear this. It almost sounds like a hog squealing, but it's like this just screeching fingernails on a board type of noise. So it's pretty cool. I was really happy with what he did. His name's Alex Taylor. He actually won an award recently at one of the festivals we did for best score because it was it's really good.
But that's here you did that for the something similar to that to get the
Yeah.
Basically,
Yeah.
He ran some sound through a thing and that's how it came back. Yeah, that's
right.
Awesome. So when can we see this movie? How's that? I mean,
that's the $1 million.
Yeah.
Well, I'm screening it around here in Texas right now. I'm about to sign my distribution deal. I got a contract. And so we're going to sign that. And I am going to maintain my theatrical and physical media rights. So I will be able to sell the DVDs and Blu-rays and stuff through my own website. And I'll probably have a third-party distribution company that I'm going to work with to get it into shelves across the country. But it won't be our distribution thing. And plus, we also have our international rights. So we'll be dealing with a different sales agent to sell it overseas. But it will be on all the streaming sites and some of the TVOD, which for those who don't know what TVOD is, it's basically your
we're gone again. So we will give William's internet a chance to catch up again, and I will look and see some comments while we're waiting.
Sorry. Sorry.
And he's back. No, it's no big deal. It's like, seriously, we've dealt with way worse technical difficulties on this, man. You got to, well, the Bob Elmore show.
Oh, my.
Was something else.
It was such a good guess too, but yeah, we could barely hear him.
Well, let's say it's going to be the rent, like, it's going to probably be released on being rented first. You can rent it online through streaming, and then it'll go to the AVOD, which is the advertisement on demand sites, where like Tubi and things like that. We're going to try to push it on to Shudder and see if they pick it up. The company that we're going to be signing with, I can't officially say yet, but they have pretty good relationships with them. Again, because I do have the contract, just haven't signed it yet. So it will be soon. Since I'm keeping my theatrical and I'm doing this full-time artist thing, we're working on doing a tour around the country at drive-ins and independent mom and pop movie theaters.
Oh, that sounds.
In Cleveland.
Yeah, I'm trying to work a deal with that. Yeah, I'm trying to work a deal with that to where we could do like 50-50 splits on the door. And in some cases, I'll try to make it out there, actually fly out there and be a guest and do it. We just did one in my hometown in an old, like 200-year-old building that was a theater that I went to when I was a kid. And man, it was over 100 people there. I made a killing. I sold so much merchandise, and that's the crazy thing is I keep my merchandise rights too. This film isn't even out yet, and people have. I mean, you see stickers and T-shirts and posters. They're selling like crazy because they love the '80s vibe, just the look of it.
Right.
So that tells me right there, I've got something.
Those T-shirts currently on your website, then, yeah.
Yeah, I just got my business account and stuff, so I'm starting my website, and I'm going to be selling stuff on there now that I can actually do it without the IRS coming down on me. That's the reason why I haven't had anything on the website for sale yet, because of the, Uncle Sam.
Yeah, we got to do that. But as soon as you get those T-shirts, we'll buy a couple of them for sure. And
right, thank you.
We have there's a horror convention that's the Bill Grossman was talking about a little bit ago in the comments in Cleveland that's coming up in August, and they're going to be screening movies as well. So I don't know if you want to. If that's something you would want to do, it's in Cleveland. But I don't know how any of that stuff works. This is the first time I'm ever even doing anything like this. But they have some pretty cool films in there. Like there's this one called Redhead that it's fucking awesome, dude. It's got like Texas Chainsaw fucking vibes. And then they're screening them there. And I don't know how it works, but if you go to Ohio Terrorcon, you can message the page and see if it's something you could work out with them. Because that'd be awesome. We could see it.
If anybody's in South Carolina, we are screening there at the Crimson Screen Horror Film Festival this month. I believe the Friday screening at 6 p.m., 6 or 7 p.m. at the Crimson Screen Horror Festival, Film Festival in South Carolina. I think it's Columbus, South Carolina.
And a little bit closer to you, Zigzag just commented, Morgan Crypt Horror Fest. They work with them. Death Curse Society does, and they're in New Mexico. And
I do the Houston Horror Festival. I'll be there in August, and then this month I'll be at Texas Frightmare Weekend. Nice. I have a booth there. I do Texas Frightmare every year. We're not screening there this year, unfortunately. We were not accepted for their. I think the 2-hour running time might actually hurt us in a lot of things because it is a 2-hour movie. It doesn't feel like a 2-hour movie. Yeah. So I've got testimonial video on YouTube as well. The people who have seen the film that'll tell you that, and these were not people that I knew. After they came out of some of the screenings, basically giving it a lot of praise. I am, however, screening my next fake trailer for my next film at Texas Frightmare Weekend. If anybody's going to be there. It's called Caught in My Eye, and it's another serial killer home invasion movie kind of twisted together. It's a monster versus monster. What happens if a babysitter is going to be killed by a serial killer in the closet and the house gets invaded by some people who are out to rob the place? And now you've got one side, he wants to kill the girl. These other guys just want to rob the place. There's 6 of them and 1 of him, and she thinks he's helping her.
Yeah, that sounds wild. That's definitely different. I like different things, because it's very rare in any media form of movies to have new ideas. Everything's been done, So like anytime you get something different, I fucking love it.
Yeah, no, it's good. I haven't seen anything quite like that. I was inspired by From Dusk Till Dawn, how it was 2 different movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, it started as one thing and becomes another. Like this movie's going to start off kind of like a serial killer. We build up who this guy is. He's called the Goldilocks Killer.
Oh, nice.
He cuts the girl's hair off and he knits it into a wig, and he wears the wig, and he has a porcelain mask, and he's all fucked up.
Wow, that sounds pretty awesome, man. So you got like couple sweet slasher characters with this guy and with the Hogman. All right, and he's frozen again. But yeah, that sounds pretty fucking awesome. So anybody that's still here in the comments, follow do you got like is there a page on Facebook for Butchers Bluff?
Yeah,
it's the review on there, but
yeah, the official Butchers Bluff fan page. I'm on there all the time. There's a Butchers Bluff movie on Instagram. There's also the Caught My Eye movie. You can follow that. That's my next film. And it's also Caught My Eye on Instagram. And we're on butchersbluff.com. It's a very simple page. The .com is really don't have a lot on it right now. So those are some places. And of course, I'm easy to get in touch with. You know, if anybody out there wants to cast me in their films, I'm cheap. Yeah. You can see some of my work online. A lot of the movies I've done haven't really been released, so or you know, they're hard, not online. I can't find them, but some of the ones you can find. I was in a Western movie on Amazon, like a TV show called Death and Compromise, and like 4 episodes of that. And then I did the Sawyer Massacre. You can find that for free online. And a couple of movies that are about to come out. Yeah,
yeah, I know. I always see stuff about your movies, but I wasn't sure if I seen it on your page or the Butchers Bluff page. I'm on both.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is like, again, this is finally going to be released this year, and people can see what I'm talking about. Of course, as a Hogman, I don't talk, so it's all physical acting. But I got a part in the Caught My Eye as well. I like to give myself small parts. I don't star in the films. I give myself little roles like Quentin Tarantino does. You know.
Oh, most directors do that.
Which is fun.
Most directors that started with Alfred Hitchcock. Always put himself in movies in a very, very small role, right?
Yeah, just
cameos. M. Night Shyamalan does it. Yeah. And John Hughes would make cameos in his movies.
Well, there you go. Yes. So we've been going about an hour. That's about how long we usually go. So, did you have anything you wanted to plug that we haven't talked about already? And so we're going to start to wrap this up and get everybody out of here.
No, man. I mean, we've pretty much talked about the films. I mean, I will tell people to keep an eye out for it. I mentioned in the trailer that the Butchers Bluff has Jeremy London from Mallrats. We've got Paul T. Taylor, who was Pinhead in Hellraiser Judgment. L.C. Holt. Yeah, L.C. Holt was the Lamb Killer in You're Next. We got Brink Stevens from Slumber Party Massacre.
I see her.
I got Bill Johnson, who was Leatherface in Texas Chainsaw 2. So let's see, who else did I get in there? And then Bill Oberst Jr., who was in 3 from Hell, and he was in Circus of the Dead. And so,
freaking all-star cast there.
little cameos, you know, here. I mean, they weren't really cameos. They all had, well, some of them were, but most of them, like Paul has a really big role. And
he's going to be at that Ohio Terror Con. Some Pinhead's going to be there, and it's not, you know, Doug Bradley.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it's him.
That's Paul. Yeah, and Paul did a really good job, man. He's a really good actor. I mean, people can shit on it. Well, I mean, if they're going to do the movie anyway without Doug, if they're going to be done, you might as well have somebody who's close and without trying to rip him off, you know. So I watched it a couple of times. I think it's a pretty decent movie. It's like, have you seen Judgment?
I haven't. I've only seen the first 3 Hellraiser movies.
Yeah, Hellraiser Judgment is pretty much like 7. They have it's like a guy serial killer who kills people based off the 10 Commandments, though.
Oh wow!
And so it's pretty disgusting, and it has a pretty damn cool ending where Pinhead faces off against an angel. That's all I'll say. It's pretty sick. I recommend.
He's definitely going to be at Ohio Terror Con. I just confirmed.
Yeah. Paul's a friend. He'll be in Caught My Eye as well. He's a really good actor. I try to write him into films because I mean he's a Texas guy, and I can get him. So, so I write him. And I did that with Bill Johnson for a long time too, because he was here for a while, but he's recently moved, I believe, well, I won't say where he's living, but he moved out of Texas.
Right. So they say the best ability is availability.
That's it.
Yes.
And I guess I will say one thing I like to give independent filmmakers some advice. I mean, how did I get these people? And I think the thing is go to conventions and talk to them.
Yep.
And have a good script. Those are the main things. If an actor wants to act, they want a good role. Mm-hmm. So if you have them a good role, and most of those people say, yeah, let me look at your script. And if they like it, they'll do it. If they're not SAG.
Yeah, networking is everything in
absolutely
for sure.
Right.
The horror community is a really, really supportive.
Oh, for sure, it's the best.
And you mentioned earlier you're a big fan of Friday the 13th Part 5, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Rick, you want to tell them who our guest next week is?
Melanie Kinnaman will be on the show next week, the final girl for Friday the 13th Part 5. Yep. So, drop in the comments for that. What's that?
Miss Pam, right?
Yes, right. Pam. Yeah, we're really excited about that, man. It's the day after my birthday, so it's my birthday present that she's going to come on the show.
That's great, man. That's great. I used to rent Part 5 all the time on VHS. It was just one of those movies I really liked, and I always liked watching Spider or Demon get stabbed in the toilet. It's just, I don't know why. Goddamn enchiladas.
You probably don't know if you can see it, but the damn enchiladas shirt from
damn enchiladas. Yeah, and it didn't piss me off. It didn't piss me off that it wasn't Jason. I mean, I was more pissed off at Jason Goes to Hell. That's the one I don't even watch that one.
He despises it. I'm friends with Adam Marcus, so.
See, Rick made the cardinal mistake. He made friends with the director.
Yeah.
I had Adam on the show along with you were talking about From Dusk Till Dawn. Robert Kurtzman, who wrote From Dusk Till Dawn, was on the show, and I had Ryan not come on that one.
Adam Marcus will never come on this show if I'm on.
Probably not. For a long time, I was trying to get him to do the show, It was like, I'll do it, but never found time. As soon as I text him and says, all right, well, Ryan's not going to be on the show. Another guy was supposed to fill in for Ryan, but he didn't.
Yeah.
And it was just me.
But I was like,
time. Is it Brian, this guy Brian that does the Horror Ship podcast? He was going to fill in for Ryan. And then next thing you know, he's on the show that week. So, I kind of think Ryan might be the reason why he delayed it.
You think?
I mean, most Jason fans I know don't like that movie, man.
It's common, and he knows it too. He's doing a documentary about it right now, and in the documentary, he has a segment where, like, you can he raised the money Indiegogo too, and like one of the perks was like you could pay $10 for like a shout out, or you could pay $20 to tell him to fuck off. And I guess he made more on the fuck off than the thank you.
Yeah.
And that's my thing with that. I never personally attacked him. I actually think he's a very nice person.
No, he's great. He's amazing.
I think he's
whether you like his film or not, I mean, that's subjective.
I think he's a very nice guy. Yeah. Like from the interviews I see, I just can't stand his movies.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what kind of person, who had that bright idea. Like, let's do a movie with no Jason in it.
Well, like Rick said, he's used to that. But then we reviewed his Christmas movie, and I bashed that one too because I also.
I don't know about anything else. What is it?
That movie, Secret Santa.
Which one?
Santa.
Secret Santa.
No, I haven't.
It's on. What is it on? It's on. It's on Screambox, if I'm not mistaken. It's streaming somewhere. But he did that, and Robert Kurtzman did the effects and helped him out with it too, and that's why they were on the show together. It's they did it for like $3,000. Like no money at all.
See, that's why I was bummed because I understand why Adam doesn't want to talk to me. I get it, but I'm bummed I didn't get to talk to Robert Kurtzman.
Yeah. I went to an Evil Dead 2 screening, and Kurtzman was there. He was cool. He was very cool with everybody. He had a really good Q&A, and we had to talk afterwards about filmmaking.
He's done everything. He's worked with everyone.
Yeah.
He wanted to direct From Dusk Till Dawn, but at that time he hadn't done anything like that. so he couldn't get it. He couldn't do it. So then he eventually hired Robert Rodriguez to direct it.
Yeah, Robert was the right guy for that movie, man.
Yeah, that was a good.
Oh, it's a great movie.
Yeah, I've worked with Robert a bunch of times, man. He's good, you know. He's just, as far as, I mean, I don't really like all of his movies. I'll tell you, I openly say that. But as far as like the ones where he hits, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, he's kind of him and Linkletter are pretty much the guys here in Austin.
We're talking about him before we went on.
That's right.
Me and Ryan were just having a conversation about him because of we were comparing the two Londons, and we were talking about Days of Confused versus Mallrats. Which I was kind of giving him some shit. I was like, do you really think Days of Confused was a bigger movie than Mallrats? Obviously it is. Yeah, obviously it is.
Of course.
But
yeah, it's a little more iconic.
Yeah, you know, and that's what I told him. I'm like, Kevin Smith has made some fun movies, but Richard Linklater's made great movies.
Right. Yeah, he's got the lockdown. He's the big dog in Austin right now. But right here in Texas, they're building a couple of big, really, really big movie studios. Zachary Levi lives down here. Shazam, if you don't know who that is.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Shazam. He moved down here right outside of where I'm at, and he's been really pushing to get the studios built. Plus, Jensen Ackles lives here, and him and his wife are starting a production company here. And so, if you don't know who that is, that's Dean Winchester, Supernatural, Soldier Boy, and the boys. So, which I fucking love that show. If anybody hasn't seen The Boys, you need to see it and watch.
I've seen the first 2 seasons, but I haven't seen the rest.
Watch Jensen Ackles in the last season. He's fucking awesome in there. It was his best role.
And even though we are a horror podcast and Friday the 13th is our favorite series, I'd still rather meet Jensen Ackles than Jensen Daggett.
Jensen Daggett, final girl from Part 8. She'll never come on the show. If you ever heard anything we've ever said about her. Oh yeah, we just destroyed her. Unfortunately, she sucked.
Who is this?
Jensen Daggett. She was the final girl in Jason Takes Manhattan.
Oh yeah,
Rennie Wickham.
Rennie. Yeah.
It's just not good, man. It's not good.
I haven't seen Manhattan in a long time, so I can't really make a comment at the time.
Lucky you.
Yeah, yeah.
I watch all. You know what I mean? But that's
now
my
Manhattan is Rick's least favorite.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'll still watch it. There's some cool parts.
Isn't it like kind of ironic? Okay, Jason's going to come out of the water. There's somebody with a hockey mask with the exact cut down his It's like, okay, it just so happened to be a guy with a fucking spear gun and a hockey mask in a boat. And so I think King Hodder was a great Jason, but he got some of the shit movies, man, unfortunately. CJ had the best. But with Jason Lives, in my opinion, and Ted White, who
my favorite.
I was lucky enough to have dinner with Ted White at Texas Frightmare.
Nice.
It used to be in the hotel. It was called the Hyatt Hotel at the airport in Dallas, and there was this restaurant upstairs. And after the event, you go upstairs and you have people go eat, and Tom said we need to be across from you, whatever, this and that. So I'm sitting there with my daughter, and we're eating. And they sit Ted White right next to us, and he just starts talking to me. And my daughter was like, "Who is this guy?" I'm like, "You don't know who you're talking to right now." And we had dinner and we talked, and he was talking about being a stuntman back in the day and working with John Wayne and just all these things, and how he didn't think much about the horror thing. It was just a job, and so he was fun. He was just a cool old man.
Big Texas guy too.
Did you ever hear the story about him and Lou Ferrigno?
Oh yeah.
No, I did not.
Oh, geez, this is great. I think it was in his book, in Ted White's book, but I guess he was doing cons, and he had just started doing cons or whatever, and Lou Ferrigno was there as the Hulk, and they were next to each other at the con, and I guess Lou Ferrigno kept his people kept going over into like Ted White's area. And Ted White didn't really like that too much. So he says to him, like, "Hey, man, can you keep your stuff over there? I'm over here." And then, it kept happening. So Lou Ferrigno got up and wanted to throw hands with fucking the Hulk. I mean, Ted White was going to throw hands at Lou Ferrigno.
Oh God,
that's how crazy fucking Ted White is.
And Ted White was like in his late 80s then, and he bitched
Oh yeah,
out
he wasn't young.
Yeah, he was in his late 80s. He punked out the Incredible Hulk.
You'd be surprised at some of the things I've seen at conventions. I've been doing conventions for almost 20 years. So I've seen some crazy shit.
Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, we're past an hour now, so we're gonna wrap this up. I want to thank you so much for coming on, William. We're gonna check out the movie as soon as we can, obviously. Butchers Bluff. Everybody follow the page on Facebook, all the instas and all the socials. And yeah, man, thanks for coming out, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. This was fun. I haven't done one in a while. I'm recovering from a surgery. For those people who follow me, I had a hip surgery. And so this has been it's been cool getting back to the swing of things. So, but I'll fully recover. It's just I got about a year till I'm going to be able to run and jump again. But I'm walking without a cane now, and I wobble like a penguin, but I'm getting there. So
you'll be able to do stunts again later?
Probably, yeah. As long as I'm not going to be taking falls on hard ground anymore, like I'm an idiot, like I used to. I don't need no crash pads. You're gonna have to give me a crash pad now. But other than that, yeah, I'll be back.
Nice. Glad to hear it. But again, thanks for coming on. We're gonna definitely follow your journey, and as soon as those DVDs and Blu-rays are for sale, post it. We'll share it on the page. We'll buy T-shirts as soon as you got them, and yeah, man, we're really looking forward to seeing this thing.
Awesome. Guys, come see me at Texas Frightmare this month if you're in Texas. You can stop by my booth.
Awesome, man. Thank you, brother.
All right, see you.
Good night, man.
All righty then. So that was pretty fucking cool, huh?
Yeah, he was cool, man. Has very similar background to us.
As I told you, I said this is going to be easy, man. He's a metalhead that likes horror movies. I didn't even know the wrestling connection.
Yeah, man. We didn't even really get into
like one of us, man.
Yeah.
As
though, he's just like Pantera and Undertaker. I'm like, yep, Texas guy.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't even think about Undertaker being Texas as well. But yeah, the chainsaw and Pantera thing. Yeah, I definitely being a kid from Texas, man, you had to just love that, man. That was unbelievable. So we got in the comments. Sorry I couldn't get to any of your guys' comments tonight too much, but they have been coming in plentiful. Cindy Alston, I guess she's here because of William, obviously, because she was saying that he does a lot of his own special effects, so she knows him, which is cool. Thanks for coming out, and hopefully you follow the page if you haven't already. Go ahead and follow the page on YouTube and the Facebook and all that stuff. Rosa says, great show. JP, oh yeah, I was trying to squeeze this in somewhere, but I didn't get a chance to. That's why I kept trying to put his comments on. JP and Cross of A Killer's Confession, they are debuting their new song, Martyr, at 8:30. They're going to be going live on YouTube and doing a chat. Fucking Waylon will be on there, I'm sure, talking about it. And then at 9 o'clock, they're going to actually debut the video. Great stuff. If you're not familiar with The Killer's Confession, get familiar. They're fucking great. Waylon Revis, formerly of Mushroomhead, it's his band, and JP's the bass player in the band, and they're great. They do Cindy Alston, she's his mother. She comments. Well, thank you, William's mother. Appreciate you checking out the show tonight, and hopefully you follow the page and check us out in the future. But yeah, so they go live at 8:30. You can go on there, talk to the band. I'm sure, like I said, I'm sure Waylon will be on there. They're fun live and to talk to and everything. And then at 9, they're going to debut the song Martyr. And yeah, so I think that's all we got coming up. I got a little ticker at the bottom.
Yeah.
One more thing. So I don't know if you've seen it because I haven't even told you this yet. But so, and I wish I would have thought about this earlier. So I went to see Alien in the theater because it came out and it's fucking Alien. Why wouldn't you go see it in the theater, right? So I did by myself because I couldn't find anybody to go. I went at like fucking 11 in the morning, and I noticed that Alien came out in 1979.
Yes.
And I came out in 1979. And then I started to look at horror movies from 1979. And man, there were some fucking bangers that year. So I decided, and I wish I would have thought about it sooner, because then I would have probably had William on the 15th and did this week. But we're gonna revisit our the Year in Horror series, 1979, in 2 weeks, and we'll try to get a third for that. Yeah. That's why I put guests to be named later in the ticker. We might want to pop a rating and see if Brian Emmenizer is available.
Oh, dude, that's
money,
big timer.
Money.
He'll come on, but he won't sign his name on anything.
No, he's too big time. But we can pop a number if we get him to come through.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like his highest episode is still the highest one. Oh no, I think did he end up overtaking
I think Ken Sago's show the best one?
It was, but I think Brian's last one might have took it over. I'll have to check. And then Kevin Avergel did real good numbers too. Those three are tops, but Brian might be the top. He might be. I have to look at it, but they're all pretty close. But yeah, so we might pop a number, see if Brian's available to come and discuss 1979 with us. If not, if any of you guys might want to do it, send me a message. Karen, I don't know if she's still here, but she commented a couple times in the comments. We had a couple of the regulars were in here. Let's see, we had Zigzag was here pretty much the whole show. I ran into him at that drive-in thing on Sunday. We haven't talked about that, have we? No, we haven't. Yeah, so we went and seen all the Of the Dead movies, and he drove down from Detroit, and it was pretty sweet. They didn't have as big of a turnout as I would have liked. And I hope it doesn't discourage him from doing things like this.
Like I said, I would have loved to have made it, but I had a prior
previous plans.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
I would have loved it, and I was going to call you after too, but I didn't get home till midnight.
Oh yeah, well, after for this was 3-4 in the morning.
Oh wow.
It started at 10,
I was fast asleep by then.
Yeah, so we the third film, Day of the Dead, we left halfway through. I was struggling to stay awake, and Ricky was done at that point. He was like, because at first he was like, I'll stay for the whole thing, and I'll slap you in the face to keep you awake, and all this nonsense. And then he's just like, nah, I want to go home. He was just done. So then we went home.
Despite what our most watched or viewed episodes or listened episodes are in the past, I have a sinking feeling next week's show is going to be close to the top.
Oh, I think so. I think that one's going to break all the records.
I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, so am I, man. I can't wait. And I've been talking to her a little bit again yesterday, the day before, making sure we're all still on and everything. She's like, yeah, we're still good. I said she's familiar with StreamYard. She says that she knows how to use that better than all the other ones. So I don't think we'll have any issues there. And it should be pretty exciting. She's got a lot of credits to her name too. So there's a lot of things we could talk about besides Friday the 13th, of course. And she has coming up on September 13th. We're going to go up and see her and Tom Morga. Right. They're going to be at Monroe, Michigan. It's a Comic Con. This isn't one of Nate's things. It's a different thing. It's a Michigan Monroe Comic Con, I think it might be called. But we're gonna go up there, and I told her I'm gonna rock the Roy cosplay, and if people want me to jump into the photos, I'll do that, and should be fun.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So, anything you wanted to talk about tonight on our show that's going way long?
yeah, it's getting late, man.
Yeah, it is.
And unfortunately, I didn't win the Powerball again, so I got to get up for work.
Right on. So, did you have anything you wanted to touch on, or we'll just wrap this up?
Yeah, that Game 5 was pretty sweet, man. Congratulations to the Cavs for pulling that out. They got the series locked up now.
No, they don't. No,
yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
They lost by 38, dude. 38.
Well, it's tough to win in Orlando, but luckily they don't have to win in Orlando to win the series because they had home court advantage.
Yeah. I won't believe it until and Game 5 they almost lost.
It was a great game.
I mean, they had a shot at the end, and got that block.
It was like 17 lead changes and 13 ties or something.
Yeah, the Cavs are a fun team to watch, but they're not going to win anything.
Neither one of these teams is really ready.
Yeah,
but
it's fun to watch. They play good basketball, and you're going to see Yeah.
Yeah.
So
They're
we'll see how
both-
game
they're
6
both-
and 7 goes.
I think they're both missing a big piece, just one though, and that's it.
Oh, then
But,
they could be really good if they can get one more big piece.
Mhm.
Right on.
Either team, if they had one more piece, I think could be a legit contender.
Right on.
Because they're both just so fucking good at defense, both teams.
Yeah, they play good fundamental basketball.
That last 3-point shot the Magic hit at the very end of the game put the over under the over came in. It was 206, and that made it 207 points, and that's the first time the overs came in this series because the defense is that good.
Right on. Did you have the over or no?
No, I had the under in all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just knew it. I don't even think. I think 3 of the games didn't even crack 200 points.
That's crazy when you lost. Well, yeah, because if you lost by 38, then even if they scored high and you scored so low, yeah, it's not going to add up to 200.
Yeah, they beat Orlando by double digits both games in Cleveland, games 1 and 2 as well. So
yeah, but not by 20 and 40.
No.
I mean, it's just unbelievable.
No, I mean it was
whooping.
They were strong victories, those first 2 Cleveland victories, but that last Orlando win was just a straight woodshed kick your ass victory. So
Right
it just every team has an off night though.
Yeah, we'll see how the rest goes, and I'm sure we'll talk about it. But
Definitely.
yeah, so tonight was a good show. I really had a good time, and yeah, it was pretty fun. Like I think when we have these guys that aren't as well known, I think they're a little bit more fun.
Sure.
It just kind of went that way, All the guests we've had have been good.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think we've had a guest where I was just like, God, this sucks. No, I don't think that's happened.
No. Even when they weren't necessarily the best guests, they were entertaining.
Oh yeah, the guy.
Yeah.
Hey, he's still the first guy that agreed to do this shit. So he wasn't the first guest we had, but he was the first guy that actually agreed to do it. So
right, and it's odd now that
what's that?
He was the first one to agree to do it, but he's the one that it was like the longest in between the time he agreed to do it and then one who was actually on.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
Right on.
But yeah, 1979, 2 weeks sounds fun.
Yeah.
And next week,
Next week's a big one. Next week's a big one. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Everybody.
I slack on promoting this way more than I should, but not this week.
All right, invite your friends, and we'll have a good time together next week. It'll be awesome.
That's right. And I look forward to it very much, and I will be back in the studio for that one.
Okay. So. Bring headphones.
Okay.
So we don't have any trouble with the technology.
No problem.
All right, right on, brother. So anything else?
Everybody out there, have a good, safe one. And there goes the neighborhood. Happy May.